I am about to start on one of the first plushies I have made in forever. I can't even remember the last plush. In fact, I do remember the last plush I made. I made an emotional support chicken about just over a year ago, I think. I made it just after we came back off our honeymoon. I am about to make a horse. Let's get into it. If you are new to my channel, hello, I am Shannon. If you are not new, hello, welcome back. Thank you for watching. While you are here, make sure you subscribe, like and comment on this video. Just a little bit of info about my channel. I am a crocheter, knitter, sewer, just general all-around crafting stuff. We do days in the lives over here, project vlogs, all that sort of stuff. I am about to get on with the project. Let's go. So this is a project for my sister's friend's child. They want me to make a horse for them. I have never made a horse before, but I've got a pattern. I've got the yarn. I'm going to go through the materials I'm going to be using, and then we shall make a start on it. Obviously, I can't show you exactly step by step what I'm doing because I am going to be using a paid pattern. However, I will link the pattern in the description, and I will be speaking about the pattern as we go anyways. So the yarn that I have got for this project is currently bulging out of the band, but it's the Yarnsmiths Chenille Chunky. I've got the white, I've got chocolate brown, and I have got latte. I went off the reference pictures for the colours. I am using a different horse design than what was sent because it was an AI image that was sent to me. But we move. We found one that was similar but wasn't AI, and then we've used the colours that was in the reference pictures. So this calls for a 6mm hook. The pattern calls for a 5mm hook. However, when you do make plushies, you do tend to go down a size or two. So I think I am going to go with a 5mm and see if we can get that to work for us. I have used this chenille in the past. I've made Adam, which I've not actually finished it. I need to finish it. I started making Adam a shadow and a Sonic plush. They're both downstairs in a project bag, but this was the yarn I used for it, just in different colours. So I'm excited to use this again. I don't usually use chenille because I haven't made plushes in years, so I'm excited to get on with this. The pattern is by Crochet with Kyra, I want to say. I will insert a picture of the pattern here, and I will obviously put the name down at the bottom here. I haven't read over the pattern yet, but it had a lot of good reviews on Etsy, and it was one of like the main contenders of the ones that I liked. I just favorited a load and then went, which one should I choose? Let's go with this one. So yeah, I'm excited to get started on this. I'm gonna go and grab a 5mm hook from downstairs. I think my hooks are downstairs, and a few stitch markers, and then we can make a start. I am hoping that this isn't going to take too long. I am going to give myself a day or two to get this done. It should be more than long enough for me to get this sorted. I'm assuming the longest bit will be sewing it together. It's currently 5:10. I think if we make a start on tea at 6 o'clock, that'll give me 50 minutes to get a start on this and see how long or how much we can get done even. So yeah, let me go and grab my crochet hook, and I'll meet you back here in what will be a second for you, but what will be probably a few minutes for me. I am back. I got a 5mm hook and a 4.5mm hook, just in case I start it and it's too gappy. I got a couple of stitch markers, and I also got my safety eyes just because I'm going to end up needing these. I don't know if you do the head first or not, so I just thought I'd just grab them. I might also need some black yarn, but I have actually got some of that here, just some double knit yarn, just for like the mouth if you have to sew the mouth on, or whatever you've got to do for that. So let's make a start and have a look at the pattern and see what I've got to do first. Let's have a see. Okay, so you start with the legs first, or the arms, and for that I'm going to use this brown colour. In fact, I'll put a picture here of the inspo picture that I was sent, and then it'll make sense. So I'm going to use the brown for like the little hooves, and then the beige latte, whatever colour it is, for like the main body, and then I got white for like just the extra bits or whatever. So let's make a start. I'm going to make the legs, and then I'll come back and show you the legs. I don't think I need the stuffing, but if we do, I'll get it out of the cupboard. I don't know. I don't even know where it is. Done the first leg. I do have to stuff it at this point, and then I think I've got to like not sew it together, but you've got to like pinch the things. The only thing I am unsure on is the foot, because it's meant to be like flat. And I remember when I used to make plushies, the way that you get it to be sort of like this is you just do back loop only, and it'd like even itself out. But the pattern tells you to do front loop only and then back loop only into the same stitch, which I don't really understand, but I'm going to trust the process. I'm going to trust the pattern. I'm not going to go off and do my own thing because knowing me, it'd end up going wrong. But yeah, I'm gonna, when I stuff it, I'm gonna try not to sort of overstuff it, because I'm scared if I overstuff it, it's gonna just look like that, which isn't really what I want it to. Wait, why is that? What's that bit there? Let me try and show you. Yeah, I don't really want it to end up looking like that. I do want it to be like sort of flat like that, I guess. I don't really know. I'm gonna see what I can do when it comes to stuffing it. But yeah, the pattern does tell you to stuff it at this point. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna thread this end in, because this end, which is still attached to the ball of wool, I'm gonna cut that. I'm gonna thread it back through, and then I'm gonna tie it off at the back and like sew them ends in as I go. So I don't think I can do that, but we'll figure it out. It'll be fine. Yeah. So that's the other end there. That's fine. Okay, I'm gonna do that, and then I'll come back once I've done both legs. It's a little bit later now. It is 7:45, so it's a lot later. We've already had tea and everything. I've done all 4 legs. I have reread the pattern because I was doing the second pair of legs, because you do the front ones that are a bit smaller and then the back ones are a bit bigger, and I thought I might just skip ahead and do the body and then do the legs later, which is what I do when I make plushes. But from reading the pattern, you have to sort of put these in as you sew the body, which makes it a bit easier anyway, because it's less sewing in at the end, which I love. So I'm glad that I didn't skip ahead and I just actually just did it. I mean, I probably would have skipped ahead if it didn't have that in the pattern, but anyways, all 4 legs are now done. So I'm gonna start on the body. So far so good with the yarn. The only thing I would say is it's not the best for making magic circles with. I've made 4 magic circles so far, because each of the feet start off with a magic circle. It does also shed a lot as well. Like, I'm finding little tiny bits everywhere on the bed and on my pants and stuff. Not the best magic circles. Every time I pull it, it's like snapping, which is really annoying. So I've had to do the magic circles really loose. It's still fine, because like you can't, there's not like a hole or anything, so it's not the end of the world, but it is annoying, because usually if I was doing a magic circle, I'd do it a bit tighter and pull it and it'd be fine. But with this, you have got to be careful for it not to snap. But it is just the type of yarn it is. All chenille's the same. All chenille is like that. So yeah, 4 legs done. I'll be back when I have done the body. The body is done. The legs are attached. I feel like these plushie patterns are so I don't know, I'm just chilling watching a film. These plushie patterns are so much easier than the ones I used to use when I used to make plushies years ago. Because years ago, you would have to sew the arms and legs on. You would not do it as you go. That is such an easier way to do it. Although I feel like looking at it, it's a little bit lopsided. But I think when I sew the head on, I should be able to sort of neaten it up and make it look a little bit better. So it is now stuffed, and I've left a long thing to sew the head on. So now it's just the head to do. And I don't know if you have to do a little tail for him. I assume you do, because the horses have tails. I think they might do. I don't know. We shall see on the pattern. But so far, I am really liking him. I think he looks really, really cute. Adorable. I'll come back when I have done the head, or when I feel like I need to do another update. Oh, also, time check. It is 27 minutes past 8. So we're not doing too bad, to be fair. It's not taking too long. It took quite a while to do the legs. I think it's because I was also doing other things at the same time. Like, I was sorting out tea, eating tea, mostly just eating and scrolling on my phone at the same time. So I feel like the body didn't take long to do it all. I think the body's just taken like half an hour, I think, maybe a little bit longer. I don't know, but that's quite good going for me. So anyways, I'll do another update in a bit. It is the next day after I filmed all that bits last night. I ended up finishing the horse. I sat there, and I think the last update was me starting the head. I think I just finished the body, hadn't I? I think. I finished the head. It was quite late when I finished it though, and then I just carried on going. It was a bit too late to sort of get the tripod out and to get my phone out and to start recording. And my thought process was, oh, I probably won't finish it completely by tomorrow, so I can just update you all tomorrow. But I was just in the zone. I was just doing it. So the horsey is completely finished. I have sent a picture of it to the person that I'm making it for. Well, for my sister's friend, basically. I've sent a picture to her. So I'm assuming that she will sort of tell me where to post it out to. But I'm so happy with this. I feel like it's absolutely beautiful. The yarn, again, is from Wool Warehouse. It's the Yarnsmiths Chenille Chunky. Really nice yarn to work with, especially for plushes. I really liked working this. I think the only thing I would say is that it does shed quite a bit, which I wasn't the biggest fan of. However, I think that's just a common thing with chenille yarns. Like, it's hard to get a chenille yarn that won't shed, unless it's that sort of, I don't know if it's still classed as chenille. I know Yarnsmiths do one called, I think it's called Snug as a Bug, and it's not made up the same way that this sort of chenille's made up. It's made up of like, I don't know how to explain it. I'll see if I can find a picture of it and put it here, but it's a little bit different to this sort of chenille. I'll put a picture of it here. It should hopefully make sense in the picture. So when I used to make plushies, that's the sort of yarn that I used to use. I remember there was a company called Marinas years ago, and they used to do one called Get Cozy, and that was the perfect yarn ever. It was super cheap, and it was really thick, and it was amazing. But this yarn was really, really nice to work with. Again, it was super affordable. It was £3 per ball. This is how much I've got left of it. One sec, where is it? There it is. So I've got a lot of the white left, so I could probably try and make something out of this for myself. I do love moomin, so I'm thinking I could maybe make a moomin out of it. That'd be quite cool if I could find a good pattern for a moomin. This is how much of the brown I've got left. Hang on a minute, let's roll it. Roll it. So that is the brown. And then this is the dark brown that I've got left. So obviously I used mostly this light brown for the body. The white was literally only for the nose and like the whites of the eyes as well. The pattern was really, really nice to use. I think I did mention when I used to make plushies, they never ever used to have, well, I say they never ever, like it was millions of years ago. I used to make plushies about 4 or 5 years ago, and the patterns then were very much, you had to sew everything together. So if I would have got this pattern a few years ago, it would have come as everything as different parts, even down to the hair. The hair, like the mane, whatever you want to call it, you attach it to the actual sort of scalp of the horse, and then you crochet these bits on like as a chain, and then you do it that way rather than doing individual bits and then sewing it. It made it so much easier, and I did really massively prefer that as well. But yeah, I'm very happy with it. Pattern was really easy to follow. I would say that it's beginner friendly actually. The main bit at the beginning was like a tips bit, and it was like, oh, like don't be scared to like keep undoing it. So I'm assuming it probably is made for beginners, but I do think that someone who is knowing about crochet could definitely follow it as well, because obviously it's made from beginners. Well, I'm just waffling on now. The only bit I didn't do with the pattern was it had like a rain on it, and I didn't really want to put the rain on it just because the pictures that I'd been sent of like inspo pictures didn't have anything like that on it, so I just wanted to send just the actual horse. But yeah, very, very happy with that. I was a bit unsure about the tail, but I'm really, really like happy with the tail. I think it does look really good. I think it was just when I read the instructions on how to do it, and I thought surely that is not going to look like a horse's tail, but I feel like that does look really cool, and it's all like sewn in the right place and everything. I mean, crocheting actually, because you don't do much sewing. I think the only sewing for this was sewing the ears on and sewing the head to the body, and that was it in terms of sewing. So I very much enjoyed this project. It did take a few hours. I haven't fully decided on a price yet for it, which I probably should have decided before I agreed to do it, because then she know how much she's paying. But I will probably make it a bit cheaper than I would anyways, just because obviously it's somebody that we know, and that's what I usually do when I make plushies for people that like I know in real life. I mean, I don't make plushies anymore anyways for anybody unless I'm specifically asked by somebody that I know. And yeah, that's the horse. I've named him Harold. He's not called Harold. I don't know what he'll be end up being called, but I think he looks really cute. I probably could have put a few more hairs on his head, but I feel like that's a good amount. I didn't want it to be too like overpowering. And you can also, which is really fun, you can sort of like move them around as well, because there's a few like patches where there's like extra bits, like that bit there, but then you could just move that bit like that and then like hide that bit. Like, I don't know, I think it's super cute. So yeah, thank you for following me on this little journey of making this horse. I really enjoyed it. Again, I'll put the designer name down here of the pattern, and I will link the yarn in the description and the pattern in the description. If you want to subscribe to my channel, please feel free. I have got some fun videos lined up over the next few months, especially. I do try and post weekly, depends on the day. I've been trying to post on Sundays, but recently I've been posting on Mondays or Tuesdays, but it just depends on when I'm available to have the video edited and like ready for. So yeah, make sure you subscribe, comment on this video, like this video, and I shall see you in the next one. But thank you so much for watching me create little Harold. So cute.